Hi folks, Donald Trump may have just single-handedly brought down the entire sport of international football. I'm going to tell you how he did it on today's edition of
This Dude Has Balls.
Okay, so I'm recording this on July 8th, 2026. This is the first off day since the World Cup began, hosted in the United States along with Mexico and Canada. And so far, it has gone great. There have been exciting matches and a lot of interest, tremendous support, great sportsmanship. It's brought soccer to the world stage in the United States and to the attention of Americans in a way that everyone in America is quite happy about. And it all was going very, very well until just a couple of days ago when President Donald Trump just could not stay on the sidelines. He couldn't help himself. He had to stick his nose in where it didn't belong. And as a result, he may have brought the entire sport of football to the ground. Now, that may be a bit of an overstatement, and time will tell how true it turns out to be. But let me explain, if it comes to pass, why we should look at this week as the point where this happened. So, Donald Trump intervened on a red card given to an American player directly to Giovanni Infantino, who then, without any kind of pretense, unabashedly reinstated the player to give the U.S. a better chance to win the round of 16 game against Belgium. Now, Belgium turned out to win the game anyway, but it caused a lot of stir in the soccer world. There were some who said that with all of FIFA's past transgressions and accusations of corruption, that this may have been the very first time that corruption on the pitch was directly involved, where FIFA literally put their thumb on the scale to affect the outcome of a match, and in the World Cup, no less. Now, okay, you could make that case. Maybe it's true. It seems like it's true. Some are calling it just unabashed, unveiled corruption within FIFA between Trump and Infantino. And that might have been the end of it if we got past it, but there were some consequences to this that I don't think Infantino considered and Trump did not care about at all. And we found out what those were literally 2 days later, because yesterday, Egypt played Argentina in a very exciting match in which Argentina fell behind and came back at the very end in improbable fashion to win the match, continue their run to the title. And of course, Argentina features Lionel Messi, who is like the world's favorite player, and it would make a lot of sense to FIFA to want to have Messi continuing to compete. Well, anyway, after the match, the Egyptian coach, Hossam Hassan, had a press conference where he lambasted the referee of the match and FIFA, claiming essentially the whole thing was rigged, that FIFA coordinated with the referee to do everything possible to allow Argentina to win and Egypt to lose. Now, if you watched the match, and I watched part of it, including the key parts, I think it's a bit of a stretch to say that that's what happened. You really have to make a little bit of a leap because it wasn't obvious. But there were some suspicious moments, and now we have to look at this a little differently than we would have just a couple of days earlier. If this had happened 3 days earlier between Egypt and Argentina, the world would have laughed off the accusations and just called them the rantings of a sore loser. But now that we have seen unabashed corruption with on-the-field results a day earlier, suddenly Egypt's claim has to be taken a lot more seriously now. We really have to look more closely than we ever would have to wonder and to find out whether the accusations made by Hossam Hassan might actually be true. Did Giovanni Infantino and FIFA coordinate an effort to try to get Argentina and Messi to continue on at the expense of Egypt. The problem here is these concerns are going to be brought up again and again, and they no longer can be dismissed because now we have seen actual evidence of corruption right out on the field of play. And because of that, every subsequent accusation will now be looked at differently than before, and that ultimately could really affect the integrity of the game of soccer, not just in terms of bids for World Cup sites and ticket fraud and things like that, but actual on-the-pitch results. Egypt's claim now cannot be laughed off, nor can any subsequent claim, and if enough of these claims get enough traction, this could bring the entire sport down in a way no one would have thought possible. And who started it all but America's somehow still beloved Donald J. Trump, who just loves to set fire to everything he can touch and then walks away without caring at all about the result. And that's it for today. I hope soccer continues to be a thriving sport around the world, despite the attempts of Donald Trump to ruin it for everyone. Bye-bye.